Dozens of all sorts of factories, workshops and lines are opened in Russia every month. Agro-industrial enterprises are being built in huge numbers, import substituting projects are being created. For several years now, we do a review of all of this every month. Today, let's talk about the biggest industry launches of the year. The largest for us are those where the amount of investment is more than 10 billion rubles. The steady growth of industrial production continues in our country. According to Rosstat, the Industrial Production Index for 2023 is 3.5%. Ahead of the curve. Manufacturing sector growth 7.5%. So, the third line of the Amur gas processing plant has already been put into operation. This facility near the town of Svobodny, Amur region, is one of the largest natural gas processing plants in the world. The implementation of such a large-scale refining project is unparalleled in the history of the Russian gas industry. Let's say at once that the strategy of the Amur GPP creation has actually been thought out for many decades, and could make Russia an even greater energy superpower than it is today. The plant was not built just to recklessly pump Russian gas to China. This is where Russia's role as a gas pipe becomes a thing of the past. Russia is now becoming a producer of all kinds of gas impurities necessary for the international market. For example, the plant will become an absolute world leader in terms of helium production. The plant will also produce vintane-tixanov fraction, which is propane, and as if at the same time, Gazprom will continue building infrastructure for a residential micro-district in the town of Svobodny for Amursky GPP employees and their families. The Alexeyevsky micro-district for 5,000 people is under construction in Svobodny. In addition to residential buildings, the micro-district will have a kindergarten for 350 children with a swimming pool, a school for 900 students, a polyclinic with adult and children's departments, a department store, a hotel with 158 rooms, a universal sports complex and a cultural and leisure center, as well as a consumer services center. A modern hydrogen peroxide plant was launched in Chuvashia with the support of the Industrial Development Fund. Volga Peroxide, a member of Orgsantez Group, in Novocheboksarsk, Chuvash Republic, organized Russia's first and only production of hydrogen peroxide using modern anthraquine technology. The new plant will make it possible to almost completely replace imports in meeting the needs of the pulp and paper and textile, chemical, mining and metallurgical, medical, perfume and cosmetics and food industries. More than 200 new high-performance jobs were created. Technical hydrogen peroxide is used in the pulp and paper and textile industries as a bleaching agent, in the chemical industry in the synthesis of oxide, propylene and the production of synthetic detergents, and in the mining industry in gold and uranium mining and metallurgy. The product is also needed for disinfection and parasite control in industrial and municipal wastewater treatment. Chemical hydrogen peroxide is used as a bleach and sanitizer in food, medical and cosmetic applications. Norilsk Nickel launched the first line of sulfur dioxide emission reduction equipment, which will reduce sulfur dioxide emissions by 5 to 6 times. The remaining equipment will be commissioned this year and will reduce total emissions from the current 1.1 million tons to 197,000 tons. The program has 2 phases. First, utilization of sulfur dioxide-rich gases and creation of sulfuric acid neutralization facilities at the Nadezhda plant. Expansion of sulfuric acid processing infrastructure. Work will also be carried out at the copper plant, where it is planned to switch to full utilization of sulfur dioxide contained in rich waste gases to the level of maximum permissible emissions. The project was originally 3/4 domestic equipment. During construction, new solutions had to be found due to the failure of foreign suppliers. As a result, the sulfur program consists of Russian components for almost 90%. In September, Vladimir Putin launched the largest production of titanium, magnesium and ilmenite concentrates in the Amur region. The project will make it possible to revive the production of titanium, magnesium and ilmenite concentrates, which are strategic for the Far East and the entire country. The latter will also make it possible to substitute imports of this raw material in Russia. In turn, exports of titanium, magnesium concentrate will increase the country's foreign economic activity. The project will create 1,500 new jobs in the region. In addition, such powerful production stimulates the socio-economic development of hard-to-reach areas of the Amur North. Pavlik launched the second stage of the gold extraction plant of the mining and processing plant in the Magadan region. Bringing the second gold extraction plant to its design capacity will bring the total processing capacity of the enterprise to 12 million tons of ore with production of about 13 tons of gold per year. The deposit was discovered in 1942 as part of the Omchik ore dissemination unit. In subsequent years, the field's reserves were significantly increased as a result of pre-exploration activities, also by the company's employees. A church in honor of Saint Nicholas the Wonderworker, whom the company rightfully considers its heavenly patron saint and celebrates his birthday on the saint's Memorial Day, was built on the territory of the shipped camp. A new primary oil refining complex of a new ecological generation was launched at the Omsk refinery. The construction of the new complex was envisaged by the program of the federal project, Clean Air. It will replace 6 units of the previous ecological generation at once. Will annually process 8.4 million tons of oil and 1.2 million tons of gas condensate. Thanks to the digital control system, it can operate in various modes, flexibly adjusting production according to seasonal demand. Leading Russian manufacturers and suppliers of high-tech equipment participated in the construction. Digital systems, building systems, materials, including those from the Omsk region. It is important that this work involves leading domestic equipment manufacturers, engineers and scientists, who gain new competencies in creating complex technological solutions for oil refining. Today we can already say that our refineries in Omsk are among the most modern and technologically advanced not only in Russia, but also in the world. They ensure environmentally friendly production of quality fuel for stable supplies to Russian regions. With the application of modern technology, the company has improved the governor's quality. The depth of oil refining to almost 100%. Russia's largest plywood plant with a capacity of 180,000 cubic meters was launched near Vologda, in the village of Vokhtoga. Investments in the project amounted to 12.5 billion rubles, of which 490 million rubles was provided by the Industrial Development Fund in the form of a soft loan under the Development Project program. The enterprise is the largest plywood production in Russia, the territory of almost 30 hectares, production area, 45,000 square meters. Production is organized on a zero-waste principle. The technological chips will be consumed by the central bank of the Vodo-Galistrev enterprise. Dust and sawdust will be used for fuel briquettes, while waste not subject to recycling, such as sludge accumulated in the pools, is planned to be burned in the boiler house to supply heat to process consumers. The plant will produce plywood from classic formats to non-standard formats that few others in the world make. Deliveries will go to the regions of Russia and dozens of countries in the Middle East, Southeast Asia and CIS countries. In the Zabaikalsky Krai, the equipment of the enrichment plant of MT. Of the UDACA steel mill. As a result, the first copper concentrate was produced at the plant. The first launch was made by Russian President Vladimir Putin from Vladivostok from the fields of the Eastern Economic Forum. A project that has been on pause for the past 60 years has finally found new life. Recall that in 1947, corresponding member of the Academy of Sciences of the Soviet Union, Yuri Bilibin suggested that between the Vidym and Olekmo rivers may lie a large amount of copper. And 2 years later, a huge deposit was noted. Openly. However, developing such a remote field proved to be a very difficult endeavor. They even planned to use nuclear explosion for its development. The project was revived in the 1970s, thanks to the construction of the Baikal-Amur mainline. But the technology of the time could not make mining and processing the ore profitable. Udokin has only been revisited in modern times. In 2019, construction began on Udokin. It was conducted in difficult mountain and climatic conditions. The buildings of the technological complex itself are built at 1,600 meters above sea level. The construction area is within the permafrost zone. The company provided the necessary infrastructure for the creation of a modern mining and smelting plant at Russia's largest copper deposit, laid a road and a 25-kilometer-long line, built a bridge over the Nuring-Nakhon River and a technological complex, constructed 2 substations for 200 megawatts, water and heat supply facilities, on-site networks and a water intake with a capacity of 10,000 cubic meters per day. The construction required almost 350,000 cubic meters of reinforced concrete and 58,000 tons of steel structure. 4,000 kilometers of cable and wire products. The development of the Udokin deposit has a significant social effect for the Zabaikalsky Krai. The project is expected to create about 3.5 thousand jobs with salaries significantly higher than the regional average, and up to 20,000 jobs in related industries. A plant producing ammonia, urea started operations in Perm Krai and melamine. As a result of the project, 400 new jobs were created. Work has also been done to beautify the city. This is one of Russia's largest enterprises in the organic chemistry industry, which will produce import substituting, high-quality and competitive products. What distinguishes the new production facility from the classical ammonia synthesis scheme is that it operates on pure gases. No steam reforming. The unit runs on pure hydrogen and pure nitrogen. In this way, a significant environmental effect is achieved. Direct carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere are halved. 6 multi-story houses were built for the employees of the enterprise. The urea shedding tower is 98 meters high in its pure form. Urea is used as a fertilizer. Mining and processing plant at the Tueta Jack deposit was launched in Kolyma, a new enterprise built in the difficult territories of the Magadan region. 300 high-paying jobs were created. The project included the development of an open-pit mine and construction of a gold processing plant. Construction of a mining and metallurgical production facility is also planned at the site. The processing volume of the enterprise will be 1 million ton of ore per year, mining up to 3 tons of gold. The mine will also produce 3 tons of silver. The second stage of the Pharmasynthesis-Nord plant was launched in St. Petersburg. This is the largest research and production complex where anti-cancer drugs are produced under the import substitution program. The pharmaceutical industry is one of the largest in St. Petersburg. The number of company employees at this facility grew from 776 to 1,100. Also, the new site of more than 30,000 square meters will focus on the production of biotechnological medicines for the treatment of diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis. With the commissioning of the second stage of the plant, the share of imports will be reduced. Anti-tumor drugs on the Russian market. Now the company produces 45 drugs for the treatment of oncologic diseases, 43 of which are included in the list of vital diseases. Pharmasynthesis is one of the largest domestic producers of socially important drugs. The group of companies has a total of 5 plants in Russia. They are located in St. Petersburg, Tyumen, Bratsk, Irkutsk, and Ussurisk. By the way, the company plans to build the third stage of the plant with laboratories and a production line. The design of the science complex is now underway. With its commissioning, the total number of the company's personnel in St. Petersburg will amount to 2,000 people. And in conclusion, which is gratifying, we don't stop there. A number of other gigantic plants are being built in the country today, which will soon bring our country to the absolute leaders in many positions.